The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you just stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, we have our riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him, you love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
What up, Jay? Next, we have our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident dark knight detective. It's Oz.
I don't remember Daredevil talking that much shit in Netflix.
That's fair. That's fair. I love that shirt too, Oz.
He got a ballsy after he slept with She-Hulk. He's like, I can do anything.
Hilarious.
Talking mad shit in open court like that. I was like, oh my god.
Next, we have the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
So after that third episode, Larry, did you think maybe there should be a little more violence?
I mean, listen, the sad fact for me is I enjoyed that third episode so thoroughly of Daredevil. I was like, this is right up my alley, man.
I agree. Dude,
huh?
For a court, the whole thing takes place in court basically, and it was all fucking great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, it's like my thing was from watching that episode, I was just like, okay, like they're spending a lot of time in court. I'm like, if they're spending this much time in court, then this needs to like wrap up. And it did. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Done with all that nonsense, eh? And did that real quick.
Well, I'm just saying they were spending too much time there for there to be like more. So I was just like, okay, like this is like I'm loving all of it, but I'm like, this needs to wrap up. But they
are way too good at ending an episode where I'm like, fuck, I need the next one.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the end of this episode was like, wow. But okay. But
anyway. I know it's not him, but I still need to know what happens.
Right. So anyway. As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We do have a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about the comic book Magik #1, Magik from the X-Men getting a limited series. So we're going to be talking about issue 1 of that. And we're going to be talking to you all about Green Lantern Corps, the new ongoing Green Lantern Corps book featuring all of the lanterns that you know and you love. So we got that going on as well. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. So we'll tell you how it is. You can let us know what you want to be talking about and how you can get down with Fantastic Forum in just a moment. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, the show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope all is well with you, good sir. And with that said, let's have the intern do their interning.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. You know you want to. So please feel free. You can go ahead and go to fantasticforum.live. You can hit the call-in button. You would be the 5th member of Fantastic Forum. So there's that possibility. Of course, you can always jump into chat if you don't feel like you want to be necessarily on camera or you don't want people hearing your voice. You can jump into chat on Twitch or on YouTube, or we'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show. Jay, insert witty chat comment here, please. We got Lloyd.
Wafer says, "What up, FF? Looking forward to catching up at WonderCon."
Oh, I'm excited. Lloyd's gonna be in the building for WonderCon. Looking forward to catching up with you too, Lloyd. So yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time, I think.
You think?
So yeah, I think that's what I think. I know. Moses is like, why don't you know? Why don't you believe it? I believe it. I believe. So yeah. But yeah, man. So I watched that episode of Daredevil and I was just like, okay, this episode felt like it was all the criticisms that you all gave the series manifesting in one episode. But it was still awesome. So I was just like, it's too funny.
You know, in one of the, even though it was a criticism, it's still not like this is a comic that lends itself to that. If they would have done it to like let's say they do a Green Lantern Corps show and it's like this, even though I wouldn't mind like a Green Lantern Corps TV show that's like one's like SVU, one's like all the different precincts.
I would watch Law and Order Green Lantern. Easy.
Yeah.
What was that noise?
The scream. I don't know if I have the sound effect anymore.
I don't think you did that right.
I'm also like I'm suppressing coughs right now, so it's not.
But the scream isn't Law and Order though, right?
No, that's CSI.
Yeah, it's all the same.
No, it's not the same. That's what I was like. Look, like this fool's you did it like we don't use the Law and Order effect in our own like stuff. Like
apparently I don't. It's not on my thing.
Oh my god, it's too funny, man. It was like, what was that noise?
I didn't even make the connection for CSI. Like, I've never seen an episode of CSI at all.
Not one. Wow.
Not one. Okay, maybe one. But
okay.
Yeah.
No, hey,
but yeah.
Listen, I can understand.
Was Lawrence Fishburne in it?
I don't
Probably.
Eventually.
Isn't there like 5 different versions of each one of those shows?
Yeah.
Dude, so many versions. It's like I'm like, even if Lawrence Fishburne wasn't in it like starring, I would have assumed he was like on Law and Order at some point before he was a big time star, because that's what happens, right? Everybody's on Law and Order at some point. So
no, I mean he was a big time star on when he was on CSI already.
Right. No, I believe it. I believe he was starring. I'm certain, but I don't know.
I think it was like his team. Like he was the leader of that team.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you're not watching CSI, but like the cast.
Well, just like I said, one episode, and he fell off of like second story floor or something, and that's
Got it.
So it's like I watched the episode, and like from it, I got that he was like part of the team, like if not the leader.
Got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a caller. El Hecht is in the building. What up, Hecht?
Yeah.
See, that's much better. That's much better. Look, you gotta take notes, Oz.
So I saw actually because of my mom.
So the scream is in CSI, and what are we talking
No,
about?
CSI Miami.
Yeah,
they're all CSI.
Yeah, they're all CSI, but
it's like
Miami
Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern Book. I mean, what? It's the same.
And NCIS is part of it too.
Do they only scream? Do they only scream in the Miami one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Each one has a different song.
Yeah.
But it's all the Who songs, all of them, I think, right?
No, like
I'm
Miami's
not
the
that
only one that
familiar
uses
with
the
the Who.
Is Miami the only one where the dude gets to wear the sunglasses?
Yeah. Well,
they all wear
sunglasses.
Yeah. I do. My throat is trashed right now. I can't.
So,
this alcohol is curing it though.
You gotta get it from your diaphragm. Like, yeah.
I don't use birth control.
Yeah.
So
I like the theme song I made with the goats.
No.
That's what I thought I had too, but it's not on here.
Listen, I realized like after like 2 weeks that I hadn't heard the goats.
Yeah.
And I almost said something. And then I caught myself. I was like, don't say not a damn thing about those goats.
Oh, wait, I do have the goats.
That's the intro.
Let's start the review again. Hold on.
But
That's what we're talking about.
but Moses, like the goats were his like ringtone.
Yeah.
Like when somebody calls or texts Moses, it was the goats. And so I'll be messing around at the shop with Mo, and I hear these damn goats, and
I got a
like
blade on
after,
his head. Like,
oh, and I'm just like, Jesus, I hate these goats so much, man. And
like-
just 1 week, I didn't hear the goats for the first time, and then the second week went by, and I was like, huh, no goats. And I was gonna say something, and I'm like, let me be quiet because I don't want these goats to come back. But now the goats have reared their ugly heads. Bunch of savages.
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot. I forgot it was called goats.
Goats.
CSI goat.
So I have a bit of news, gents.
what happened?
You're pregnant.
Yes, I'm pregnant. Yes, I'm pregnant.
It's because I was on birth control.
Right, because I didn't use my diaphragm.
That's right.
Right. So you all know, I've been collecting comics for the first time in my life. There is a comic book store within walking distance of my house.
Holy shit.
Yes,
That's dangerous, man.
dude.
Is that the one you posted something? I think it's black owned. Is that the one, or is that just something?
There,
else you like?
it is there is a black owned comic book store. I didn't post anything.
Oh, I thought it was like, well, you're the only person that posts I like black stuff on my feed. So,
Well, I'm your only black friend, Oz. So
Jay's right there.
Jay's not your friend. No,
And he just posted about black stuff.
No, I'm joking. Jay is your friend. I don't know that Jay posts anything though, dude.
Amber's half
Yeah.
African. That counts.
Okay, hey, look, as long as Amber claims it, I'll take it. But I ain't heard that. No.
Cubans were slaves too, you know.
Hey,
She reminds me all the time.
listen, I'm trust me. You know me. I'm not here for the struggle Olympics ever. It's like I understand. All of us have struggles. I'm not mad at it. What I'm saying to you all, though, look, which I don't know, and I don't know. Like that's interesting that something came up on your feed. I don't know. I would love to know if I inadvertently somehow did do that, but I didn't.
You already
post
got the
anything about
neural
it
link.
yet.
It's Instagram. I think it's Instagram, where when I'm looking at a video, a thing pops up of stuff that you guys have liked. And so I
Oh,
click
that
it,
might be what
and
it is. Yeah,
so
I
that's-
did like a video because
Yeah.
I
that
did
might
like
be-
I
I said your
I did-
post, but because like
Yeah,
I saw
got it.
you, and so yeah.
got it.
You
Yes,
just
I
saw a black
did like-
person.
because my cousin sent me a link from Cheyenne the Geek, which really cool like influencer chick, and she's actually doing like trying to or I think in the process of creating a sitcom about a comic book store. So she's definitely like deep in that realm and has been for a minute. But my cousin sent me her post about this store, and when I went to go look, it's literally like right up the street on Slauson. And I was just like, man, that's crazy.
Is it enough
So-
for like your workout, like the walk, or is it closer than that?
It is no. It's closer than the workout. Like I
Yeah.
can't like it's in it, but it is along my route, which is kind
Yeah.
of funny. Like it's
Yeah.
literally because the route I take is it's not a circle.
Mhm.
But let's say if it was a circle, it would base. No, actually, dang. Now I think about it, like I usually walk about 4 miles. It's mile 1.
Okay.
So at the end of mile 1 is the comic shop.
Like in one shot, I don't think I walk 4 miles in a day. In a week.
yeah. I walk it in one shot, and look, you probably maybe you don't in a day. Not if you don't actively like try to walk that much, you probably
At
aren't.
my most active, when I was in actual shape,
Mm-hmm.
I would walk, run maybe 2 miles.
Well, hey man, listen.
And that's
I don't know.
out of high school, but 200 pounds and muscle on me, and actually
Yeah,
trying to do it.
yeah, man. Look, trust me, it's not as hard as you would think, though. It's like
I
it's
beg to
legit.
differ.
Like, no, look, it's just
Well,
but either
if
way,
you got a comic
thi-
book store on the way, it's not.
See, that
and
would help.
So I went in there today for the first time just to kind of check it out because I was like, I'm gonna talk about it today, no matter what. I should go in there. And the owner's name is Joe. And dude,
You should just ask if he's hiring so you could work there.
I'm like, Joe, give me a job, Joe. He'd be
Huh.
like, I don't know you. I don't know you. No, but dude, like the shop itself, really nice shop. It's small, but it has like all the stuff that you would be looking for. Like, it has collectibles, it has pops, it has comics, like a good, nice selection of your weekly books, has graphic novels, like, like all the staples that you'd be looking for.
I'm gonna have
The
to go
hentai
work
And
out with you,
action.
Larry.
yeah, hey man, come
How long
on,
ago did it open?
dude.
How many-
Literally 4 weeks ago. Like just brand spanking new shop. Like it's crazy. Not it wasn't even open the first week of February.
And that's close to Jay's house too, right? Off of Slauson.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is
It
definitely
might be closer to
walkable for
Jay's
both
than
of them.
you, right? Or no, because he's further out that way.
It might be the no, I think Jay's
Yeah.
a little bit
The
further away,
opposite direction, yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, I think he's a little bit further. But
And they also
still,
don't sell digital comics.
well, listen, I don't know if that's the case. I don't like
But
I
doesn't-
didn't ask about
well,
digital comics.
Doesn't Marvel do the thing where you buy their a physical book and you get a digital copy?
I don't know if they do.
No,
that
you
in-
get a random one. Like,
But they used to do that, right?
they used
Yeah.
to, yeah. I
Yeah.
wish they would do that, but especially now because like I need to fill my library in Ultimate, Unlimited rather,
Mm.
And I would love now I gotta go through all my Marvel books and scan that code. And I used to just give it away, but I might do that
So
again.
That's right. When I
So-
stopped doing it, people were giving it away.
I don't know if I mentioned to you all that there was a RB Silva connecting covers that were coming out recently for the X-Men books. Like literally, I don't know if they're all X-Manhunt books. They might be, but I don't know. Let me see if I can find a picture of it real quick.
That's
Yeah,
the one
got it.
after Blood Hunt, right?
No. X Manhunt is actually like something that's happening right now.
Okay.
That is like it's the first like major crossover for the From the Ashes era of X-Men.
Oh, okay.
So and it's honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's subpar. Like everything in the X-Men books right now is kind of for at least from in my opinion. So these are the titles and what the covers look like. So I was sitting here like thinking like, okay, like I'm gonna have to mess around and like go hunt these down one day or whatever, because like right now, like I'm like I know that like I could, if I had went early or asked early enough, I could have gotten these through Jeff. But I didn't know they existed. So I was like, oh man, like
Are they
I'm
all
gonna have to
coming
go
out the
hunt.
same month or no?
No, they came
Okay.
out like that was the thing. Like they started at the beginning of last month.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, so it's like one of those things where like I didn't know they existed until like legit like maybe the middle of this past month. And so I was like, okay, I've already missed like 3 of them. So like, as you can see, 2 of them are X-Men. One's Phoenix, one's X Factor, one's Uncanny X-Men, and one's Exceptional X-Men. And so, going into Comic Den today, I was just looking to see what their selection's like, and I was like, oh, let me just see if they maybe have one of these like these variant covers just to see. And I looked and I found one, and I was like, oh, cool. I think it was the X Factor one. And then I was looking through the X-Men stack, and I saw the Beast one, but I didn't see the Cyclops one. But also inside of the X-Men stack, I don't know if somebody was trying to hide it or whatnot, but that Professor X Uncanny was in there too. And I'm like, oh, that don't even belong over there. But I'm like, okay, look, let me yank that real quick. And so I was just like, okay, right, right, exactly. And so then I was like, okay, I was looking to see if they had the other ones or whatever, and I didn't see them. And so I just mentioned to Joe, I was like, hey man, like, I pulled these, and for these connecting covers, um, I don't know if you happen to have the other ones, but if you come across them, let me know. I would love to mess around and maybe get the other ones. And he's like, oh, you know what? Hold on, let me look over here because I feel like I have the Exceptional X-Men one. And he found the Exceptional X-Men one, and he asked me about the Cyclops joint, and I'm like, yeah, I looked in the X-Men stack, it wasn't there. And he's like, you know what? Let me look over here. I think they sent that to me late. And sure enough, this fool went into a stack. He found the Cyclops and the Phoenix one.
Damn. So
And so
pretty
I was
much
able to get. I got all of them.
Fuck.
I got all of them at once.
Yeah.
Damn.
I got all of them at once, and I was just like, dude. I'm like, Joe went above and beyond because he could have, he didn't have to do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Good job,
It's like
Joe.
it was Wednesday. Like it was Wednesday, and so there were other people in there too and stuff, and I was just like, oh look, but man, like
that's called good customer service,
dude.
Yeah.
It was like I was like, okay, I'm like, and it's like, and I could walk to it. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, that's crazy, man.
You gotta
But
take
it was
some
it's a
next time you go.
but I'm just like for me, I'm just like, okay, like, and it wasn't the wild part was it wasn't like he had like a whole bunch of them. It's like, and that was like this was a conversation I had with him because I was just like, hey, like, like how are you deciding like what you order and all this kind of stuff? And he seemed like he had a really good head on his shoulders in regards to just saying like he's like, yeah, like, I'm not at a level yet where I'm gonna buy, get anything close to like these 1 in 100, 1 in 50, or even these 1 in 25 variants, because it's like I'm trying to still make sure I gauge right in regards to like what I want, like what clientele is gonna want, and actually I can move. But he's like, he's like, I try to get a few variant covers here and there, and then also too, he's like, I do like if I hear like a couple people ask, that kind of puts something on my radar where I'm like, okay, if 2 are asking, there might be more people that might want that, and so maybe I like up a few here or there, like of a particular book or a particular variant and things like that. And yeah, man, I was honestly, I was very impressed not only with the customer service but the selection, because it wasn't like, it was just like, even though it's a smaller shop, it wasn't just like the mainstream stuff. So yeah, it was a cool little spot, man. I'm definitely wishing him the best, and looking forward to supporting him in the future.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with my local comic book store yesterday, and it was I talked a little bit about it on the video where we're just talking about what I was gonna buy, and they're like, "Hey, you like the Sword of Sorcery stuff, right? Red Sonja and Mars Attacks coming out." And I'm like, "Yeah," and then it's like, "Oh, I have an Ash Can left over," like because they only ordered a few, so the Ash Can edition, the #1, is gonna, that's a collectible and.
Right.
He's like, I got one here. They didn't even have it in. He took it from the back, and it's like, he goes, hey, he goes, here, man, it's $5 if you want it. Like, that's it. Like, yeah. So
He's like done and done.
I felt like that little kid in that Circuit City commercial. That's it. That's it.
You took it back with that one. First of all, you said Circuit City. That's number one. Circuit City. That doesn't even exist anymore. I know. That's crazy. That's funny.
I remember when you and Jay used to go steal there.
We didn't go steal. That was the first time we were accused of stealing. Like, that was my first brush with friggin' racism, because I remember like that's how young we were. I didn't know what was happening, and because me and Joe walking around the friggin' Circuit City, and the security guard was following us, and I think I noticed, and I asked Jay. I'm like, Jay, the security guard's following us, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, why is he following us? He's like, because he thinks we're going to steal something. And I was like, why? I'm like, why does he think we're going to steal something? And Joe, no, really, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Beautiful, innocent Larry.
I was like, you know,
Nothing's
I did
ever
not know.
changed.
You know, and he was like, he told me, he's like, because we're black. I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy, man. And it was true.
That was that one Circuit City on La Cienega, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah.
What's funny about that story is my friends used to steal from there a lot. My friends, and but they never stole from the store. Like in the store, they had one of them's cousin worked in installing the car stereos, so everything came out through the back door. Yeah, what do you want? And it was the white worker that brought everything that they wanted. He just give them a list and then just give them like $10 or whatever.
Damn,
he would bring it out.
$10.
Something like, back in the 90s, $10 went a long way.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I guess you're right. Yeah, $10. Look,
Like when Big
a
Macs
lot of
were
comics in the
$1.
90s. Damn, Big Macs were $1. Is that true?
Yeah, back in like 93, 94.
When I was little, for sure.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, they had the
old,
10-cent
boys.
cheeseburger.
We're
They had
really
the
old.
And they were bigger.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's how we got
It's
big.
crazy.
'Cause they were $1.
I saw a video recently about a McDLT, and I was like, man, I liked McDLTs. And I think they only stopped making them because
you were the only one that liked it.
Was I? No, I think I liked it.
I'm
I
not
think
sure what the DLT is.
you don't know what a McDLT is?
It sounds familiar. I just don't remember what it is.
It was.
You don't
DLT.
remember?
Is that the one that came in two separate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had the cold side and the hot side.
F that nonsense. We're worried about plastic straws. Meanwhile, we got like two separate boxes for your bread and your meat.
Well, nobody was worried about plastic straws then, and that was the whole thing. That I think that's what killed the McDLT was
The
that was
90s
like
were lawless.
Right at that was like right when, or not right when, but like not long after that was when people were like, "Hey, man, this styrofoam, we can't just use styrofoam for everything. It doesn't go away." They're like, it doesn't biodegrade, and it's like, we got landfills full of friggin' Filet-O-Fish styrofoam packaging, and you could tell because it's that light blue, and I'm like, we love that light blue.
I wish I knew. I wish I knew that styrofoam didn't biodegrade before I started snacking on it.
Heck has a condition now because of the styrofoam in his belly.
That's what gave me the MS. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, they can't prove it didn't.
True.
They never said don't eat the packaging.
It wasn't from McDonald's, so I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember.
But that's part of the symptoms.
That's very true. Very true. I got styrofoam on the brain now.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, you guys ready to do some reviews? Comic book
review.
Comic book
Like
review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right, listen. For whatever reason, it just made me think of the yell again when we played that. Even though the yell's not in it, I was like, yeah. Like, oh,
can't wait for April Fool's Day.
Okay, let's talk about Magik #1. Who wants to start with what Magik is about? Like, who wants to take a stab?
I'll take a stab at it because Mo actually is the one that sold it to me.
Okay, there you go. Look,
sell it to me because I don't know shit.
Yeah, take a soul sword stab at Magik #1.
You can't keep showing me that image of things that I can't have. Mo sold it to me because he said it was in line with like a classic Constantine book. And he's right. It's Magik is.
I don't even remember saying that.
Yeah, you're probably drunk. Because
it was like last week or the week before, right?
I was probably sober actually. Yeah.
So there's a demon entity, whatever you want to call it, that's sealed up with a series of seals. And to unlock these seals, somebody is sacrificing mutants. So Magik gets involved because people are getting hurt, and fights off some demons. And turns out that there's this magical secret society of magical heroes that have been protecting these seals. And the stuff happens. We're down to the last one, who just found out 5 minutes ago, and tells Magik, well, I mean, you need me because I'm like the last protector of these seals that I didn't know existed 5 minutes ago. And so he's kind of like your Constantine figure, maybe Books of Magic a little bit in there, because it's
even looks like the dude from Books of Magic.
Yeah, and that's what I thought at first, but I really like the Constantine aspect of it. And like even his I think it's his grandmother that was the last guardian. I mean, she's casting magic to seal demons, but I don't like it's not something a Sorcerer Supreme knows about, right? Like Homeboy isn't. I feel like they're separate from that magic world. Like Wong and what's his face aren't gonna.
Well, this is more like blood magic and stuff, and there's chaos magic a little bit, so, and that's where kind of they might be a little separate, but they might know about something like that, but not everything. Like,
yeah,
like
for sure they know it exists.
Yeah.
But it's not. What I'm saying is, it's not them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's kind of interesting because it's more dealing with the demonic, and Magik is trying to figure out what's happening, stop what's happening when she figures out that something's trying to get out. At the same time, she's dealing with her own inner demon, the Dark Child, that is just like constantly trying to wear her down and get her to just let it out. And I think that's another little twist to it, because she's trying to be good and trying to keep her evil side back, and it's the way it talks while she's doing stuff, like really just talking all kind of crap and trying to put her down, make her feel like she can't do it without unleashing it, is I thought was really interesting.
There it is. I should mention that the artist for this book is I think you say it Herman Peralta, I think. And it's Ashley Allen is the writer. And
there was only one artist?
There's actually, yeah. No, well, there's a colorist.
No, right. And I was gonna say the colorist or the color artist is Arthur Hesley. But that's a valid question, Jay, because I felt the exact same way, where I'm like,
it's like wildly inconsistent. Like,
dude, because some of these panels are like amazing, and then some of them are like, why didn't they finish? Like, it doesn't even, like, I wouldn't even say it's like feels unfinished. It just, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird because I agree, like it did not feel like it was done by the same person. So yeah,
I would say this dude like really loves drawing his demons, because a lot of the demonic imagery is where it looks pretty good, but then when he's drawing like people protesting, it's like he's missing some lines.
But even like with the X-Men in the beginning all look decent, but when she gets to the funeral, like everything starts to look really bad.
I mean, again, it's one of these things where it, like, I agree that like the funeral, like some of those funeral scenes aren't spectacular, and I'll put some stuff up so people can see what we're talking about if they feel so inclined.
You mean the X-Men in the? Are you talking about the birthday party, or are you talking about the dream?
The birthday party.
Okay.
Yeah, and and I think that's see, it's interesting too
Well, the
because
dream actually looks pretty good.
And that's what I meant. Like the imagery in that dream, especially when they're all the fallen X-Men, was fucking badass. I'm
yeah,
waiting for
like
Lawrence to.
oh no, I was just gonna say that the imagery for the I'm sorry, we were talking about the imagery at the funeral versus like say the birthday party and all that kind of stuff. It's like yeah, it is pretty like pretty inconsistent. And just so you know, here's just so you can see, just like this is like some of the opening pages. And I don't know if it's like, you know, like obviously like these here aren't bad.
I don't like that coffin looks like it's child size.
you don't like that the coffin looks like it's child size?
The way it's drawn, I thought it was a child, but they showed the picture. I'm like, no, that's the teen that we saw earlier. Like this is a teenage girl.
Yeah, you know, I don't know. Like and this is you mentioned this one too earlier, Oz. This is the
Yeah, I see. Like I really like that image. I think
Yeah.
that looks really good.
See, but it's and I do think this looks good too, even though like while this wild child demon here, I think looks pretty good. Like it's a, you know, it's a nice a nice depiction.
And I didn't even like that classic Magik outfit.
But I think like the design for the other demons, I'm not a fan of. And I especially didn't like the design of like, you know, the bad guy earlier in like I guess the bad guy in this first issue here.
The gunslinger?
Yeah, like I was just like, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. And I'll show you all in a second. Here's another one too, or another picture here. This is the I know you had mentioned the initial thing with the X-Men. Like that pic of Magik right there is pretty awesome. And then here's the, you know, the X-Men. This is pretty much just about everybody from the current X-Men team.
I don't like that outfit.
Yeah. Oh, you don't like this Magik outfit?
No. I love that Magik outfit. I mean, the other guy, Juggernaut.
He means Cyclops. What he's wearing right there.
No, I agree with you.
Cyclops
like,
just in general.
Like that Juggernaut outfit is definitely like a comic book design that's like one of those things that's like not very practical. Like in like you can't really replicate, like it doesn't look that great even in the comic per se, but it's one of those things like you'll never be able to replicate that in real life. Like, you know, where it's just like, you know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it because it's goofy.
Yeah, see,
I got an
and
I don't much or so.
But he's also like a different type of Juggernaut now too, like personality wise. So that's like when he says it's goofy, like it kind of
fits the character to a degree. Yeah. And Juggernaut and Magik have been kind of like almost like comic relief in X-Men lately, for like as far as like they're like the buddy folks that like to go fight, you know.
They're Jay and Silent Bob.
Something like that. So this is the demon thing in this book.
I like
and
that.
I don't know, like, yeah, see, and you know what? I'm sure most people do. I know for me, like, and I guess it's supposed to be.
I mean,
like
you're not a huge
raven
Western guy, and then he's got the cloak of feathers, which is like a fantasy.
It's like a raven
thing.
motif, or
I think it's the boots with the chicken feet. That
those aren't boots; those are his feet.
They probably are just his feet.
They probably just look like boots, and that's probably part of the problem.
All right.
Either way, I'm just like,
it feels like a male harpy looking thing. It'd be
He looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Yeah.
See there, and that's it. And look, you hit the
Yeah.
nail on the head.
And it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh didn't sell millions.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying Yu-Gi-Oh's not popular. I'm saying I don't mess with it. And like Yu-Gi-Oh definitely has a different tone than I
Why don't you
hope
believe in the
X-Men
heart of
would
the
have.
cards, Larry?
Man, I don't know, it's just not my thing. Like I like card games, but Yu-Gi-Oh is not my preferred method. Like, I'll
That's
mess with.
another thing I only probably watched one episode of.
Yeah. How like Oz, it sounded like, you enjoyed the story. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. How did you feel about the story, Jay?
It didn't really grab me. Um,
Expound.
yeah, like it just didn't really grab me. It was
Why do you feel like it didn't? Or is there anything about it that made you feel like, like, okay, like I don't care about this?
no, it's just a little generic issue one type of story. Like, oh, the seals are breaking.
Yeah.
Like we've seen that before. Not we've seen that. That's not what I'm trying to say. That we've seen it before, but it's
Tropey.
it is tropey. Like I don't know, and just yeah, it's a tropish type of thing, and I don't feel like the character writing is just not resonating with me. I mean, I get the type of character they're trying to portray,
Do
but
you
they're
feel
just
like
not
everything
doing
could have
it.
been better?
What?
Do you feel like everything could have been better?
I mean, maybe. Or maybe this is just X-Men books right now.
I want to tell you you're wrong.
I think that's partly why I enjoyed it, because it's a little better than the X-Men books. Yeah.
And you know what? I'll give it that. Like, I think you're right. Like, I think it is a little bit better than most X-Men books right now,
Like
which that's
I
sad to say.
I recently read like Exceptional X-Men #1, and that was more like that
Enjoy
had
that better.
me more than Magik did.
Mm. That's fair. Look,
I
Kitty
think I like that
Pryde
it's
working the bar scene.
I think I like that it's not a team, that it really is just Magic.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, like just some of the imagery of, like, just even when she casts the silent spell, like
Yeah.
the way they showed that,
Yeah.
and it, I just thought it's really cool. I don't like how she gets shot like 10 times in this book and like just keeps on moving, but I mean, part demon or whatever, I guess.
Right. No, and I. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, man.
Sorry, there's a mosquito in here.
Oh,
I want to
okay.
kill it. No, definitely. Like I do like that it's her story on her own miniseries, and I think this would benefit from being like the graphic novel, like reading the whole journey. Because I just even how it starts, like with her dream and her resistance to be part of the team and not celebrate her birthday, and then running away essentially and dealing with this, and it sends her on a whole other journey that's probably gonna bring her back home eventually. It's like, that's part. Again, that's kind of tropey, but I haven't seen it with her yet. So
Right.
I'm excited. I'm enjoying, and then the benefit of reading the second issue adds to it too, like the issue consistency in art and stuff here. I kind of saw them a little bit, not as much as you guys did, but I enjoyed the story as it was going, so it didn't take me away from it. So I did enjoy the wait. Yeah, so sorry, but
No problem.
but yeah, so yeah, and I did, because it made me feel like, how do you do a Magic story on her own and make it kind of like a Constantine or even like a Books of Magic story, and yeah, it worked for me.
You know, it's interesting because obviously,
I
like
also
I
been playing
know
Midnight Suns a lot, and this kind of reminds me of some of those missions like that. Like, you know,
100%. Like this, and see, and that's the kind of thing. I think that's the part that maybe unfortunately bothered me a little bit because I love Magic's characterization in Midnight Suns,
yeah,
but it definitely is like its own characterization of Magic, where it's like, I mean, Midnight Suns is like its own little pocket universe and
hmm
people are interacting in their own particular ways, right? Like Magic is a consummate loner in that. And that's definitely the portrayal that I get from her in this book. It's almost as like if this was a comic about that version of Magic, then I don't know that I would have any issue. But the wild part is like, okay, but it's not that version of Magic. It's almost like the writer that's like the only thing that they knew about Magic was Midnight Suns, as opposed to like actually having read like where Magic was at recently, like in the Cocoa
yeah.
era, or even it like because
Even in Dark Web.
or even in the latest issues of X-Men, like because like
Did you read the Blood Hunt one shot?
the Magic one,
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's written by Ashley Allen too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How is it? Does this feel similar?
a little bit similar, like similarly connected. Again, it's another like, but it's basically her just hunting down vampire.
Does
And
she mess with? Does she have any kind of Dark Child relapse type stuff happening in that book?
not too much. No, she does
Okay,
mention it and stuff, but not. It's
Mhm.
not. Doesn't really. It doesn't.
Because
It's not part of the story as much. You know.
I feel like
Yeah.
that, like for me as a person that's been reading X-Men and was like reading like, a lot of Magic in the Cocoa era and has been reading X-Men, it feels like that just came out of nowhere all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, that's weird. Like I'm like, she kind of like had that joint under control. And I don't mind a story about
Yeah.
that aspect of her, but I feel like there needs to be some sort of catalyst because I'm just like, like
I
if
mean,
she has it under
think of it like a
control,
cancer. It could be remission. And then
I
it
guess so.
pops up a
I
little.
guess
She
so.
also is 1 year older, so that,
Yeah.
that's
See, and that was the thing too, where I'm like, it was so weird. Like I just feel like the setups are a little, I don't want to say convenient, but like the idea of Magic going to a surprise birthday party and her being like, oh my God, I don't like this. And
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go and wherever that is on the TV, that's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, there had
Like
to be a news report about Ms.
right. And I'm just like, what? Like, and then that's
But
what
see,
leads
that's
to
why I
her.
didn't do that mission in Midnight Suns.
No, you should have done the mission in Midnight Sun.
I did the other way. I let her know about the party and ruined the whole thing.
That's hilarious.
But I got friendship
But
with her more. Yeah.
I hear that.
Everybody
But
else
yeah,
hated my guts, but
they're like, you ruined the party.
yeah.
But it's one of these things where like that's just a awfully convenient way to get Magic to a place where it's like the first seal of this dude or this thing liminal is, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, dude, like come on, man. Like I don't know, that feels a little too convenient to me. Like, and it's not to say that like again, we all can admit, or we all understand that there's like a trope thing going on right now, and there's nothing wrong with tropes. Like tropes are tropes for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with like different seals and all that kind of stuff, and that's a great way to, I think, have a through line through a mini series. However, I'm just like, you got to give us not only maybe a little bit more lore for us to be like, okay, I'm in, but at the very least, like the characterization of the kid and the grandma, I'm like the grandma died, I don't care. The friggin' his little friend died, I don't care either. Like I'm just like, dude, we didn't do enough to like it's not like I understand that there's only so much time you have, but you can there's a little bit of time, or there's plenty of times when like 3 pages of a book, I'm like invested in somebody and they die. And I'm like, whoa, and this was not one of those. So I'm just like, huh, that's not. And then on top of that, I'm like, okay, Magik feels like she's acting funny too. So I don't know, man. It just feels like regression for regression's sake because CB
No, it's her
Cebulski's
birthday.
like,
People feel weird on their birthday.
CB Cebulski decided I need Magik to be what she was like in the 90s.
And that's kind of reminded me of a little bit like that one. Was it the Storm in Darkchild or Storm in Magik? Like that little Chris Claremont thing. And it's kind of like trying to do that again a little bit. So I went back to read that, but I only read like a few pages.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, listen, anytime Chris Claremont writes something, it's obviously gonna feel like the 90s.
And that was like when she was kind of introduced, like she was new still. So it's like that story, it makes sense for that story to be like that then, and then this one, because it kind of feels a little similar, not too much, but yeah, just that immature, like even like when you say regression from the status quo, but also regression from the character too,
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I'm just like it feels like we're kind of past this, but I guess not. So yeah. What else do we want to say about Magik #1? What else is happening with
I
this
love
book?
that every cover is a J. Scott Campbell cover.
Not every cover.
Yet. No, but that's what I would probably do is have like Mirkandolfo draw that gunslinger guy on the #1 because she would probably do it cool. Like that looks like one of her characters in one of her books. Yeah, like
she probably would do it better. Like I don't know, but it's like actually it might just be the character design because it's not like it's drawn poorly.
Yeah, but you just don't like cowboys.
I don't think it's about the cowboy. I think it's about the crow motif.
Again, you don't like crows either.
No, I like crows in real life.
No, you don't. Like you didn't even watch the Crow remake.
You didn't either.
Yeah, I did.
Why?
I didn't. No, yet. I haven't watched it yet.
Yet.
I'm gonna watch it right now and prove you wrong.
Okay, well, listen. Anybody got anything else they want to say about Magik #1 before we do some rating? Okay, well, let's do it. Moses, why don't you tell us what would you rate Magik #1?
I'll do closer to 3.75. The art and stuff was a little, but I don't mind it. I feel like it's utilitarian. Like put the good stuff for the good scenes, and then scribble around for like the further away scenes, just to get that out of the way. And that means that I might get comics on time. So I can't be mad at that. So I'm okay with it. It didn't detract me from the story, and I enjoyed the story. So and it is a mini series, I believe. So I'm happy about that because I'm gonna get a short, complete story that I can't wait to finish. So I'm gonna keep reading the rest of it, especially after reading issue 2. Issue 2 was a better issue. Like if you're worried about tropiness, that one's like a little. It takes the basis of the first one, but changes it up a little bit in issue 2. And I mean, Larry, that whole like the different type of magic, like they did the silent spell in the other one, and then the frequency spell in the issue 2. So it's like sound plays a limit, because it is liminal. So sound plays a part in here. So that adds to the issue as a better. So yeah, I'm definitely, but as an issue #1, like definitely like 3.75.
Okay, cool. Jay, let's go with you, buddy. What would you rate Magik #1?
I would give it a 1. It just didn't do anything for me.
Damn, a 1. Wow, that's fair. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, okay. 1. Is that the lowest score you've ever given, Joe?
No, I've given zeros before.
Yeah, like even like 0.5s too.
Joe out here is rough on them.
Now,
That's fair.
technically, those were those were scores to our reviews of stuff they didn't read.
Oscar, what would you rate Magik #1?
Probably gonna go with 4.5, just because the little bit of a weird slow start with the birthday party, and like you said, a little convenient. But once the demons show up, it gets going and made me want to read the second one. I added it to my pull list, so
there it is.
Obviously, I liked it.
Okay, there you go. As for myself, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 3. And I think like the art is kind of the saving grace because the story didn't really do it for me. The characters, like nobody there is that interesting to me. Even Magik, which is kind of weird because I like Magik as a character, but I don't know. It just feels like a strange kind of regression to me, and like the villains aren't doing it for me, and I don't know. It's like the sad fact is I feel like this is par for the course for like X-Men books right now. So, and this might be among the better of them. So, but yeah, 3 is where we're at for me. So, Hecht, what would you rate the review, buddy?
I give it a 4.
We'll take it. Take it.
I'm kind of sold, but not really. But I'll probably read it later.
Yeah. Listen,
how many?
I don't know.
Do we know?
I think it's only 4, but it could be 6.
It might be 5, but I could be
5.
wrong.
Okay, that's good.
I don't know.
I feel like this story doesn't need to go too long either. Like,
no.
If anything, like if it was a vehicle to introduce this new magic type character, magical kid character, then yeah, it should really only be about 4 or 5. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, I listen. Like that's the other thing where, I know that there are like kind of like I don't want to say mandates, but I understand that generally speaking, like the publishers they look for creators to introduce new characters into books.
Yeah.
With the hopes that somebody might come up with something interesting that might actually catch on, like everybody's hoping they can find their next like Miles Morales, right? Or their next like, I don't know. Who's the other
Reptile?
ubiquitous? You're hilarious.
Anoli.
Right. But
Rock slide, like I mean,
yeah. But either way, like, but here's the thing: is you mentioned those characters, right? And I laugh because obviously none of those characters have latched on to the zeitgeist in the same way like a Miles Morales has. But those are all characters that are like when they got introduced, I was like, huh, okay, like I was at least like interested, even though I do remember not being a big fan of Reptile in particular, just because I don't like the way his power manifested or whatever. But ultimately, I became a fan. Like I'm like, that character is a cool character,
It worked better in the comics than the cartoon.
Oh, by far.
Like he just has a dinosaur head in the cartoon.
Oh, Jesus. But what I'm saying is, like, you have, like, say in the X-Men books right now, like there's a lot, like every X-Men book has new characters that got introduced. And man, when I tell you like none of these characters, I'm like, dude, I don't think we're going to be hearing from any of these characters within like the next year and a half. Like they are all like dustbin characters, like, like, and I'm just like, that's like that. It bothers me just because it's like, I don't have to like them for me to think that they might be relevant. But I'm just like, when I think about like, say when they introduced the next generation of like when they did like new X-Men and you had like the, your Quentin Quires and your friggin' like Glob Hermans and your like Dust and like all those like people that I was like, okay, like I'm not a huge fan of all these characters, but they all seem like they have potential. Like I'm just not feeling that with this
Like
cast
Marrow?
of characters. No, Marrow was a villain. Like Marrow's from before. Like Marrow was always like worthwhile in my opinion. Like but I don't like when they made it pretty though. I was like, oh, that's like the opposite of what the character's supposed to be.
What about Spike?
No, Spike. We don't mess with Spike. Spike has his place in that cartoon, and that's it.
He's one of those like that weren't the lucky 198, right?
Well, look, I don't think they never made Spike in the comics.
Oh
if I'm
yeah,
not
that's right.
mistaken.
Yeah, no, he stayed in.
Yeah,
the...
only Spike was only in
Yeah.
the cartoon. Like, but
Yeah.
again, why would you make Spike in the comics when you have Marrow? Like,
Yeah.
it's Marrow. So, but anyway, yeah. So, but like this Magik series, I'm like, we're not gonna hear from those characters again. They're done. After this series, they just go into like obscurity. So I don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about Green Lantern Corps. Green Lantern Corps #1. Listen, I would have went to you, Oz, for this, but you technically just gave us the recap on the first book, didn't you?
Yeah, you don't want to go with me this one.
Look, I feel like what how I felt about Magik, maybe how Oz is feeling about Green Lantern Corps. So, look, Mo, why don't you tell the folks what Green Lantern Corps #1's all about?
Look, I don't know what's going on. Like in terms of in other Green Lantern, I know that Earth was exiled or whatever, cordoned off or something. So now they're back, and now you're getting they're trying to rebuild the core again, and dealing with a lot of, I guess, with the emo spectrum or something. Like, so I don't know what that means. I don't know how that but that's basically what's
I think they
happening.
actually call him the emo lantern at one point.
Yeah,
they did call him the emo lantern. I think it was a pejorative though. I don't think that was a thing. Yeah, that wasn't his actual name. His name is Sorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, it's the
fan of
emo thing.
MCR.
Yeah. Look, he should have wrote the book. But yeah, so they're finding new lanterns, recruiting and stuff, and they're finding people that are manifesting fear, and but they have the will to fight it, and that's kind of what this book really is about. It's about all of these, the will to surpass fear. I think it's the overall message in this issue 1, which I thought was a pretty good message, and I think they did it pretty well, but definitely took a few pages to get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it basically stars it follows what's old dude's name? Jon Stewart from The Daily Show. And he's going running around trying to do all these things to hold it all together with the help of, and they're introducing a lot of other people that I have never seen before, like his sister and stuff like that. So for jumping in, and low key, I did enjoy this. Like this made me really think. Like, yeah, you could do like a NCI, like with like a CSI or a Law and Order type universe for these Green Lantern books, and like if you're gonna do it in TV, adaptations of them, like I think a shared universe type like that would probably work, kind of like how The Walking Dead's been doing it and stuff like that. But
I can explain everything that's been going on if anybody wants to know.
Yeah, of course. And I know that you've mentioned some of it before, Oz, but yeah, give us like a quick rundown so the folks can know what's happening.
At some point, Oa came under the control of the United Planets, like galaxy-wide UN. And they said, you know what? Earth is a problem. We're going to quarantine that planet because there's a lot of nonsense coming out of that whole area. And then they said, Green Lanterns, those are our cops now. And all these other lanterns are problems. So they blew up all the different power batteries and made their own lantern core of multiple colors. They had a power battery that could channel basically every color. There's a lot more to that, but that's the essence of it. And now they've been taken down because they were a corrupt government and all that. They've been taken down, and the only power battery that exists right now is the Green Lantern battery that they built it on Earth while it was quarantined, which means there's nothing controlling the emotional spectrum. So anybody who feels an emotion strongly enough manifests it. And this one, in this case, it was a yellow one, but this was all what was shattered spectrum or fractured rectum or whatever we read last time. That's what that was about. Was all these people manifesting the power, the energy, because there's nothing controlling it now. And that's why they need to rebuild their Green Lantern Corps, because all the replacement lanterns were pretty much like corrupt as hell. They were just like soldiers for this government. They're trying to rebuild, and this is one of the first steps. Is now they control who gets the rings, and obviously, they find somebody who that's what a Green Lantern is somebody that with the capability to overcome great fear through sheer willpower. So they offer that person a ring,
right?
And that's kind of where we're at.
So I wasn't too far off, but yeah, that explanation helps a lot.
And the Guardians, there's one for each color. That's why they're each wearing different things. I don't remember where they came from. I just know that there's one for each color, and they're like monitoring each color. That's why the one in yellow says, "Hey, we detected fear over there."
Oh, I see. Now that I did not know. So did that happen in Fractured Spectrum, or
they were there in Fractured Spectrum, but I think they actually show up in the regular Green Lantern book, because that's where the United Plans thing was happening.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, cool.
And Stewart's sister is like an AI manifestation that he created and is now sentient.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I told you guys I hated that like last time.
Yeah.
That
was like that happened in like one of the backup stories to Green Lantern, right?
The War Journal, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a Stewart book where he was dealing with something, and he left this AI to take care of his mom who was suffering from dementia.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted, like, in reading this book, I'm like, man, I hope in the show, like, they'll do, like, he has a AI light construct of his barber cutting his hair, and it'll be me as a cameo in the cutting his hair and shaving, just chilling.
He does always have a pretty clean fade.
Yeah, always has good hair, even in the 80s. Like, even when he had the fro, but it was still maintained, like it was nice and even, Yeah, in the Mosaic series.
I'll tell you what, this is one of the few books that I almost threw across the room.
So why did you almost throw it across the room?
Because one of the main characters in this story is Sinestro.
Right.
And he's the wrong color.
Huh?
Oh, you mean like
his skin color?
His skin tone. They drew here. I'll share the screen. They drew this dude like a Mexican. Like, dude, he's supposed to be purple.
He is Sinestro.
Somebody at DC,
purple, right? Isn't
Sinestro.
like pink?
Yeah,
pinkish purple. Like he's
magenta.
He looks a lot more like Kilowog than this guy.
That's my Theo right there, dude.
Yeah, the wheels peak is supposed to be more pronounced. The head is like
his head shape is off too, because he's supposed to have a big, like, kind of like the leader type look.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he definitely is like, more like
Native American,
pinkish
looking.
purple.
Yeah.
And I feel you. Like, yeah, he definitely
that's my Theo from the 70s.
Yeah. He slept in the hairnet and everything.
Yep.
The wild part about that picture is, which you can't see it because it's kind of cut off. Like, I was like, it looked like a classic kind of Sinestro kind of pose to me, but his leg is like he has like the Riker going on here, but he's just floating. Like he's not, like, his foot isn't on anything. And I know he can fly.
He's pulling the
it's
captain.
Right, exactly. Like he's definitely like has his leg up there, but it's like if your leg's not on something being held up, then
Dude, this
why?
artist is all kind of effed up. Look at this cover. Look what they did to my girl Jessica right there. Look, what's up with the legs right there?
Dude,
Like
listen,
that's broken, right?
listen. Wait,
Don't
but there's
even
another.
don't even
What
let me get
happened
to
to that
what they
leg,
did to her
man?
face.
What happened to that leg?
There's another part in this book where John Stewart has that same kind of weird pose, but he's like from the behind. So, and I was just like, what is like why? Like I hate when they draw Green Lanterns flying like that, and it's like they have like the weird little leg cocked out. Like it's very strange. Like, I'm gonna see if I can find it so I can show you what I'm talking about. But
Like, I understand dynamic posing. It's a cover.
of course.
But
yeah.
Goddamn, what were they doing?
They're better off just like photoshopping a collage
Yeah.
of dynamic poses. Like
It pissed me off even more because this book is actually a really good Sinestro story.
Yeah.
Like I need to remind you why he's the greatest Lantern of all time.
Yeah. No, I agree. Oh, here, look.
Because he looks like a macho cantiflas. That's why he's the greatest.
There is
That's
one
hilarious.
panel. There is one panel where the way that he's shadowed and how poorly drawn his mustache is, it looks like he's got a little Hitler stash because of the shadowing.
Now that's just foreshadowing.
If we're being honest, though, like sometimes he looks like he has a Hitler stash, right? Like that's not.
Yeah, he's more like a John Waters like guy, like the little pencil, like little Richard,
because he's Mexican.
Yeah.
I have to get you. I gotta get you some pictures of my dad from like the 60s.
Yeah, like the
he has a little
mustache.
Little small ass mustache. I wish I could pull that off.
You guys see this? Look at John Stewart's leg right there.
Brother.
Like I was reading the book and I was like, what is like why would you do that? And I understand like it's foreshortened.
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, that looks like this fool got like an underdeveloped leg. Like he was like, born with a deformity.
He got the Benoit leg. That's what he got right there.
I just like that's so weird, man.
Yes, well, people have stopped giving their kids polio shots, so
look,
they're representing the public now, making
Jay,
it inclusive.
What did you think about this book, man?
I was hoping there'd be more of a through line to the Fractured Spectrum story. Because I know they keep saying, like, oh, the story will be continued. And it's not really like a through line, just kind of what it's just related to what's happening. So I was disappointed by the lack of through line.
So you want like the actual continuation, like you want them to be like hunting down Sorrow? Is that what you're looking for, or
not necessarily, but yes.
Okay, all right, yeah, and so like divorced from that want, how did you feel about the story, like as its own thing?
I liked it.
Okay, cool. I should also mention that the writers of this book are Morgan Hampton and Jeremy Adams. Pencils are by Fernando Pasarin. Inks are Eau Claire Albert, and then colors are Arif Prianto. So just want to make sure that giving the credit where credit is due. So
I don't know if they wanted.
I think a different colorist would have been a better choice.
Definitely.
You blaming the colorist for this?
They need to hire me to handle I would start the department of colored people coloring people.
They-
Something.
Like,
I don't
No.
think we are allowed to do that anymore in America.
It's the
it's
Department
it's
of
coming back.
Integrated Colorists and Inkers.
Look, I want
We'll
my
call it
celestial purple.
Dick.
I want my celestial purple and my people from that planet orange.
Got it.
I know Blackfire is
Got it.
supposed to be a darker, but she's still like Sinestro is more orange than that girl.
So wait, you're saying Sinestro is more orange than he should be in this book, or
Sinestro shouldn't be orange at all, but he's more
Right.
orange than the Tamaranians. Tamaranian.
Mm.
got you?
Blackfire.
Tamarindos.
Word. Listen,
Also,
I
I like
did-
the little side story where Guy Gardner ends up with a baby.
Huh?
I did see that in the background.
I
which
had
was
to read those like 3 pages twice because like when I see the baby, I was like, wait, did I miss something? I go back, I was like, oh, there's a whole
Yeah.
other story going on in the background.
right. I listen. Somebody felt like they had enough time. I guess I'm sitting here like, did somebody
Another
ask for that to happen?
question?
Save time on them legs.
Another question I had was the design for Hawk Girl.
Yeah,
Is that new or is that something I missed somewhere? Let
Has
me
to
see
be
if I can share it here.
I don't know where that came from.
I was thinking the same thing though, where I was just like, I'm like, what are we doing with Hawk Girl now? Like, because
Yeah,
it's a different kind of design.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
I don't dislike it.
yeah,
I'm just,
Her
I would've
hair
liked-
looks more like what Sinestro color should be.
yeah.
it definitely
That's not a hot girl color.
Yeah.
it's giving off like 90s extreme a Hawk Girl.
But I would have liked to see wings.
Nah, man. Now you're asking for the world. Hawk Girl with wings? Why would we do that?
Yeah.
It's very weird. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess technically they can like fold in, right? Well, depending on the version of Hawk Girl,
Yeah.
right? So, but
I'm not.
I would have
picking up Birds of
assumed.
Prey.
Say what now?
I'm not gonna pick up Birds of Prey. I don't need to know what he's doing with her.
Oh, but Birds of Prey is just the title of the next month's issue, right?
Yeah.
No, there's a Birds of Prey book.
But she's not in that, is she?
I have no idea. I have no desire.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the title of the next
Yeah.
story. Yeah.
I hope
Because
not.
they're
Wait, you guys,
they're hot.
you guys read issue 2, right? Is that
I haven't.
I did not. No.
Yeah. Issue 2 just came out today, I think.
Jay? Did you read issue 2?
No, not yet. I'm gonna read it Friday.
That's why I have the plaid ring of disappointment.
Listen,
Well, look, you're the
Green
emo
Lantern
lantern
buff.
Yeah.
It's like if anybody should have been reading it,
We're
it should have been
manifesting
you.
sorrow now.
I know. Oh no, we're emo lanterns.
I like Papa Roach.
Is that emo?
They have a song. There will
Yeah.
be sorrow.
No,
that
that's
just keeps playing in my head every time
It's
that's not
not-
Papa. No, that's
not the bad. That's Bad Religion.
Yeah, same thing.
No, very
Oh,
different.
how
Very
dare
The
different.
you.
90s all
Yeah.
blend together
Dare
for
you.
me.
No, that's very different.
Bad Religion.
Rose on
Papa
Your
Roach.
Grave is
That's
Papa
good.
Roach. Right?
Yeah, and then Scars is another one. That's like
Yeah, they
the
remind me of
acoustic
Passes
version is very emo.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like, I will say this. On one hand, I'm happy that the Green Lantern Corps has their own book. And I like that these characters, like the idea that you have a book that could be potentially rotating cast of these characters is a good idea to me. Especially like when Sinestro came in, because I was not expecting Sinestro. which I didn't even know. Like yeah, and we can talk about this later, Oz, but um, I was just like, no, that seems like a good premise for a book to me. Um, However, like some things definitely need to tighten up, and I think it's just artistically, because and maybe look, but I can't. That's just from my perspective. At the same time, I haven't been following Green Lantern super heavy, super close lately. So, I don't know if things like people are acting like I don't know if there's anyone that isn't acting as they should be or anything like that. Like it seems like they're going to delve into some decent character stuff between all the different folks. But like it was interesting just to see these people being able to get like their shine in their own space as opposed to like playing like B story to Hal Jordan, you know?
It
The end.
upsets me too. That upsets me that the art is so terrible, and then the second story in this book, the art was so good, which is a preview for the Zatanna book.
Right. Right. But you know what though? Look, if nothing else, a Zatanna book is gonna have good art. Like I don't know. I guess they did.
No,
Like
we read that one that Oz didn't like because she didn't have cheekbones.
But that was the Black Label stuff.
But it was good. I mean, but the art, yeah, but
the art wasn't.
I
Bad,
don't know if this
though.
story's
no,
gonna
but
be any
Oz did
good.
it. Like,
I don't know if this story's gonna be any good. I just really like the art, like the imagery,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
that double page.
The art for Sinestro looked really good. It's just not Sinestro.
Yeah, like, and I think that this is that kind of thing too, where there's some like the art in this book is definitely
it's actually
inconsistent.
Armando.
Armando.
It's like there's some pages where stuff looks like the folks look pretty good, and then there's other pages where it's just like I don't know. I did like the line with Blackfire telling John Stewart that he'll make a fine concubine. I thought that was hilarious.
Dang.
I was like, I might have to try to use that line one day.
I still don't get why Sinestro was the only one actually doing stuff.
No, look, John
why.
Stewart. Yeah, look, John Stewart, man.
You know why.
Yeah, it's like, once you go magenta, there's no saying about that.
Once you go magenta. Yeah, man. So
nobody ever made a saying once you go magenta. They don't have a myth about magenta people.
Yeah, man. Anyway, you all ready to do some rating for this book?
Yeah.
Okay. Oscor, what would you rate Green Lantern Corps #1?
I'm probably gonna knock it down to 4 because the art's just terrible. I want to knock it down further, but it's such a good Sinestro book.
Mm-hmm.
And there's my favorite character, my favorite Lantern, because he's the greatest of all Green Lanterns.
As he will remind you often.
Like, hey, even Stewart said, "Yeah, I forget this dude is the greatest of us all."
Yeah,
like,
he's
so
the truth.
If John Stewart can admit it, then it's true.
There it is. All right, Jay, what would you rate Green Lantern Corps #1?
I would give it a 3. I enjoyed it overall, though I wish I had the through line.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sounds good. Moses Magnum, how about you, man? What would you rate Green Lantern Corps
I would
#1?
give it about a 4. I enjoyed it, and I'm excited to read the next issue. And it had the art issues, but again, they didn't really detract me from the story. Like the story was compelling enough, So, but yeah, definitely a 4.
Okay, cool. As for myself, I think I'm gonna give Green Lantern Corps #1 I think I'll give it a 3.5. Um, like the story was cool, and I did enjoy it. And again, I'm happy to see the characters showcased. Yeah, but the art, man. And the thing is, I think it would have been different if it was just a subpar artist, like all around. But you could tell that, there were panels that got some time spent on, and that uh definitely,
Like the hot girl panel.
yeah, no, absolutely. Right. Like, like the issue with that is definitely about, or any issue I have with that is about design, not about actual art. And, and maybe Jay's right. Maybe it was the colorist too. I don't know. But yeah, 3.5 is what I have to do, just because at the end of the day, this joint is not hitting in the art department, but it's interesting enough. So, Heck, do you want to rate the review?
The review, I give it a 4.5. From the looks of the art, I give the comic a 3.
Yeah, that's about right. So,
did it make you feel like you want to maybe read it at some point?
I'm not a Lantern guy, man.
Oh,
there it
well,
is.
Not everybody's cool.
Me neither.
Hilarious.
I could read it, but I'm not reading the stuff I have as it is. So
I hear that too. Definitely been there.
I talked my wife into making my wedding ring a lantern ring.
What'd she say?
I have it. That's what this is now.
Oh, okay.
Not too blurry. Glows and everything. Nah, I can't get my face is blocking it. There it is.
damn.
Oh, that's cool. And that glows?
Yeah.
It
That's
glows
cool.
with his love.
It's like you have the will to not cheat.
Or prematurely ejaculate.
It's a lot easier now
That's when it glows, is when he's about to cheat.
It's a lot easier to not cheat now that I'm all fat.
Wait till they watch it glow.
All right. It is that time.
El Hecht, give us some final thoughts, man.
Final thought for this week. Today, The Phantom has a video game out on everything.
Even Steam.
The beat 'em up, right? Side scrolling beat 'em
Steam
up.
was first, yeah. Side scrolling beat 'em up. Plays like a fucking SNES game. But yeah, it's out today. It's like I saw it for $20, so it's not expensive.
Yeah, $20 on Steam.
There it is. Jay, give me some final thoughts, buddy.
No final thoughts for today.
What? Jay's holding his final thoughts. There. Oz, final thoughts.
Tomorrow, DC Dark Legion. We'll see what that nonsense is about.
Does that drop tomorrow?
It's either tomorrow or the next day, but I think it's tomorrow.
Is that the
Sinestro's in it.
I probably have to unlock them. I don't want to pay money.
I know his voice actor was excited about the role.
Yeah, he's excited about the paycheck.
Who was the voice actor?
I don't remember.
Somebody named Armando.
I just saw it on that.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
New video out. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. We might have some other stuff to review. And then, if you want to see the Sister Imperator review, you got to subscribe to TikTok. Heavy Metal Minute or something. I don't know what I'm called on TikTok.
What if I don't have a TikTok?
If you join our Discord, I'll post it there, I'm sure.
All right.
There it is. So for the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We'll be back next week. Until then, Be good to yourself and to each other. We're the Fantastic Forum. Good night.